Now, here's what happened on the last game. You can see Earl Anthony lost to Jim Stefanich, 256 to 230, but Earl still picks up $4,000. Now, here in the next game, he faces Glenn Carlson. And if he can move up, it'll be Strampy and Ritker for the first prize of $14,000. Glenn Carlson against Jim Stefanich here in our second game. Jim Stefanich now starting the second game and starts out just the way he started the first game. Now here's our first look at tall, lean Glenn Carlson, who's 6 feet, 170 pounds, 37 years old, from Fresno, California. He's won, as I mentioned, no tournaments on the PBA Tour, but he doesn't play in many. Maybe 4 to 6 years, about all. Very smooth, deliberate delivery. Glenn is the Operation Recreation Manager for College Union at California State University at Fresno State. He takes care of the building and also teaches there. That's his average. Not bad. I was talking to Glenn. He likes to catch the fellas early in the year when they're not in maybe the best of shape, and he is.
Well, he's surely ready. Going to that line very slow, very smooth, very deliberate.
That's pretty slow, smooth, and deliberate, too. With the same results, we're starting out the way we did in the first game.
There were 300 games in the tournament, Bud, early in the tournament. In fact, the first game of the tournament, Jimmy McHugh from New York rolled one, and Bill Coleman from San Jose rolled the other, just a little bit later. The oddity was neither that rolled 300 cash.
300, but no money.
He's looking pretty strong.
Sure is. This is the first stop on the PBA Tour. And next week, it's a $70,000 Don Carter Classic from Arcadia, California. January 19th, $100,000 Showboat Invitational from Las Vegas. Everybody's getting all tensed up again, Billy, just like we started the first game.
No room to reset your hat band, Bud. They're really hitting the lanes here at Mel's Bowl. There's a beautiful gloss to the lanes. The bowlers have been able to play them in or out. Predominantly, it's been around the second arrow, which is the 10th board. A little slight break down and a sharp break in.
A great winner, and we'll return here to Mel's Bowl for more in just a moment.
Say, Rand, you know ESPN Classic has a new comedy block, weeknights at 10.
What kind of shows?
They got funny shows.
Good shows?
Great shows.
Who's on first?
Cheap seats.
Who?
Cheap.
And here's Jim Stefanich again, going for strike number 4 in the first game, which he won over Earl Anthony at 5 in a row. And we pause now for just 5 seconds to allow our local stations to identify themselves. This is Bud Palmer along with Billy Whaler. We're looking at Jim Stefanich. This is a $100,000 Midas Open from Alameda, California. Jim defeated Earl Anthony in the first game, 256 to 230. Now he's trying for strike number 5 here in the second game against Glenn Carlson. And he has it.
be one of the highest-scoring tournaments we've ever had in the history of the PBA, Bud.
It is something. Glenn Carlson makes sometime appearances on the tours. I mentioned the PBA tour. 4 to 6 a year, depending upon the year. He has 4 strikes in a row, trailing now by 10.
Looks pretty good, too.
And once again, I'd like to say, not putting the whammy on anybody, should anybody get a perfect 300 game on the air here, ABC will give that bowler $10,000, and Lincoln Mercury will give him a cougar. Hope it's not like a no-hitter. It used to be in baseball. You're not supposed to mention such things, but it's news.
Why, they can't hear us. Oh! Inside that time, Bud.
I think he knew that just as soon as he released the ball.
Yes, he did. He felt like he missed his target. You see, the bowler keeps his eye on the target, on the spot. And right at this point, you see his eyes fixed on that spot. Now, right there, he goes inside that target, and the ball is breaking way too soon, about 5 feet too soon.
Now goes the 6th down. And that puts Glenn behind now by 2 pins as Jim Stefanich steps up here in the 6th. The first game, he had 5 in a row. Let's see if he can make it 6 in a row here in the 2nd.
Who knocked that down? That was almost one of the greatest taps in the bowling game. Here's a near-perfect delivery. You see a good full extension out onto the lane. The ball is a beautiful revolution there. Now, you see the ball miss it as it goes to the right. Either the 5 or the ball is supposed to hit that 8. And it was just such a good revolution, it stayed long enough there to spin it forward.
Number 7 for Jim Stefanich coming up. Is it? It is! And Jim Stefanich now has 7 strikes in a row. We'll be back in just a moment. And here we go in the 2nd game of the Midas Open $100,000 PBA tournament, the first of the year on the Pro Bowlers Tour. Glenn Carlson in the 7th. He's trailing Jim Stefanich by 22 pins.
Makes a little comeback and needs to get this one to get in the hunt. Keep that Glenn Carlson down long, and it's quite amazing with the mechanical difficulties that they've had to be switching lanes from 31 over now to 29 and 28 and doing equally as well, if not better. If he gets this one, there's going to be a real amount of concern in the house. And he looks pretty good with it. 5 in a row for Jim Stefanich. He is alive for the 10,000 and the new cougar.
Look at that. Everybody's concentrating on Jim Stefanich, and Glenn just spared in the 6th. Aside from that, he's been striking all the way along as he's in the 9th frame.
An entrant in the Firestone field. You must win a championship in order to be eligible for Firestone. And I know he would love to win it.
Oh, a lot of great ones coming up. March 2nd is the STP Classic in Miami. $85,000 Lincoln Mercury Open in Denver, Colorado, March 16th. March 23rd, the $80,000 Miller High Life Open. March 30th, the $80,000 Ebonite Open. April 6th, $125,000 Firestone Tournament of Champions. What a lineup and what prize money.
This man needs some strikes.
Oh, that's outside.
Looked like he went away around his body, Bud. See, there you see the ball going behind his back. Now when he comes forward, instead of going straight through toward his target, it goes way out to the right, you see, and can't make that sharp hook break back into the 1-3 pocket. And that was one that he needed. He could strike out for 278, which would have made the pressure on Stefanich very, very great. Now Stefanich does not even need to mark.
That is 243 for Glenn Carlson, but here it is.
And gonna lose. That's a rough day.
Jim Stefanich. 9 strikes in a row. He strikes out a perfect game, $10,000, and a new cougar, courtesy of Lincoln Mercury.
He needs 3. There's 1. He's in the 280s now.
We've only had 2 perfect games on national TV before. Jack Billondolillo in Houston, Texas, of Houston, Texas. That was in Akron in 1967 Tournament of Champions, and Johnny Gunther in San Jose in 1969. Maybe we're going to look at the 3rd.
But unquestionably, here's the biggest upcoming ball of the tournament, certainly for Jim Stefanich. The game is won, but this is 300 and a new Cougar automobile, all on a strike right here.
And the first show of the year. This is it for $10,000. Strike number 13.
Oh, he pulled it up.
And a tremendous crowd here gives him a huge ovation, which he deserves. Here it is again. Here's a
beautiful arm swing, full extended follow through. Now I thought he pulled that slightly. He was about a board inside of his target. But he didn't go around the side. The ball stayed straight and held right in the 1-3 pocket and tripped out that 4-7.
And you're just, this is just the 3rd game live on television. Jim Stefanich is going down there, a perfect game. We'll return with more in just a moment.